Hello, welcome back. With that said, my most recent stream was one that I know I didn't do yesterday. Okay. Oh, those views. I'm pretty sure these views are after the stream. Interesting. All videos. Well, actually all. Okay. That was like the oldest new stream. Okay. I guess that's right now. What am I doing? I am tired. Stayed up well too late yesterday. Oh my god. Time now? 3 hours passed when it was already real late yesterday. It was so damn hot. 3 hours ago. Well too hot. Oh, great. Oh, there it is.
Cupcake 44 emote.
Alright, that works, great.
Peace out everyone, have a wonderful stream. Fifth, have a wonderful week everyone. Take care, just wanted to stop by.
So... yeah, it was so damn hot. Reached 34 degrees and a half according to my phone. Well too damn hot. I had to wait until it started to cool down somewhat before I could be... so I could summon up the energy to go downtown and get some food. Yeah. Smells like smoke. Really dry last night, oh my god. I think today is gonna be horrible. And it's gonna be even hotter. The damn thing. So where is all my windows? I'm supposed to be going to some event, possibly at 9, so I might only be 3 hours or less today. What are we doing? I already have it set up. Yeah, that thing, this thing, and code. That's what was missing. What's the temperature thing say it's going to be today? Oh god, oh 28. Oh wow. So it's barely going to reach the 30s according to this. Would it be nice if that was true? You never know if it is not though. Just leave that there, I'll probably keep coming back to it. Whatever, so what on the world am I doing? I created that extra log thing. Did I disable it? I guess I did. Is this not there? So we know that it's not hiding in any of those places, I guess. So the problem is within here before it encodes it. Hello, Buster joined, or possibly people. Tab this, no. Okay. Feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. So, what in the world am I doing? I guess cleaning this thing up, that's what I was saying I needed to do yesterday. So, the old displaying of numbers can be gotten rid of now, because I'm using the new way. I got backups of all of the stuff, so it should be fine. Where am I looking? This thing. So that thing can go away and be replaced with the new one. I suppose I'll copy it across. Yeah. So that's what you are now. And this requires 6, so I may as well just dump it across. And really I should have it like this one. Everything here. Doesn't matter if I'm using it or not. Oop. Oop. That's not even a thing anymore. Skybox? I suppose Skybox is a thing. I think I did keep the name Skybox. Whatever. Good enough. What's that? Oh, yeah. Okay. What do I do? Oh, I guess I just go through line by line, right? Okay. Well, we don't give a damn at all about modes anymore, so we can get rid of anything to do with those. I don't really care at all about that anymore. But I'm gonna keep that one there, just for reference. That's old code, don't need it anymore. This stuff's all being worked. Oh wait, no, that's the wobbly thing, wasn't it? I can make the screen all wobbly by offsetting S. I guess I'll keep that there for reference. Not quite sure why that's. Oh yeah, because I used to put everything into color. I might change it back to that. Whatever. Fire. Alright, so if it's firing the next ray, what the last face is, to ignore what it's coming from, so it doesn't render the back of itself or whatever. A slight infinite loop because of rounding errors. You never know. Those things just start as 0 now. Okay. And SM is just a random letter, I guess, for M. So it's just a secondary S. I got SMN. Okay. So the new SM, which is the one going through here. Let's just go get the easy stuff first before I go through line by line. I mean, the index system is a thing that'll allow me to have potentially infinite transparencies. I haven't built that into it yet. No, wait. Or is that something completely different? I think that might be something different. Whatever. So long ago, I can't remember how it would have worked anyway. So yeah, we're looping through all of the faces. We get the faces if the face ID is the last face ID. Interesting that I'm using the face. Wait, what is this? I mean, I guess I probably should just be using face rather than face ID, and then I could even bump that up one further and not have to worry about the data indexing. Wait. What? Hang on. So face ID is what I get from that. This is... so that's a list of all of the faces. We'll loop them through. Oh wait, hang on. Face is face. I is what I'm looking at. So that's the index of that thing, and this thing would be what number in particular is from here. Okay, yeah. So that's the face ID. That makes sense. Not the location of the face's information within the data image, so that's fine. So I thought it was. We don't really need a comment for that, you know, it's the vertices. So, world space apparently, and then world space to camera space. Although, do we have it in world space or do we have it in camera space? I believe we have things in camera space right now. Well, sort of. This would be relative to the camera's point, rather than a planar relativeness. I don't know. So that should probably be just directly to this one. I mean, it wouldn't cause any problems by doing that. I guess. I'm not using these anywhere else. Oh, wait, what? Never mind. So I am using it for something, but I think that information's about to be transferred, so I don't think it's necessary, but let's keep going, just in case. So this should be creating, well, technically the world space, but minusing the camera, I mean, it's relative to the... This would be making it relative to the camera in the first raise thing, but it's already relative to... What's this doing? Oh, well, that's just a 0, yeah. So that's a 0 by default. This wouldn't be doing a damn thing, because it's already relative to camera space. And that's also just nothing. So that doesn't come into play until we're moving the ray around the place, we're bouncing it off stuff. And that's when that stuff becomes a thing. Or going through stuff, or distorting it by whatever means. So yeah, we have perspective and orthographicals. So I need to do all that for perspective, apparently. And I think I just mushed it all into one thing for this one. No. Whatever. Whatever. We're not using edge information anymore, but if we were, that's where it would be. I don't really care, it's easy enough to rediscover. So that's figuring out if the pixel is within a face. If it's not, we don't care. Which has a bit of an offset, which we need to slightly fix. At some point somewhere. I don't know where even is that offset. I don't know. And then we have the relative coordinates within the face, which I really should switch that around so the A thing is at the beginning or something. You know, that's an easy enough thing to do. I can just switch that around now. Move that over there. And same for that. Just to be a little consistent. Relative point information, whatever junk, I don't know. Basically... Wait, what? No, that's the one I want to move. Hang on, I'm confused. Yeah, location. So, point is the same as location. We want to... Let's just don't do that one.
EWW Giant Her.
Huh? Move this one over here. I didn't remember that one being there. So we have the relative location of the pixel, which is just going to be 0, 0. So really I could just completely get rid of that entirely. And then we got the thing we're trying to intersect with, and then we got a bit of extra information that we have carried across from that thing to gain some extra stuff.
Eugene, what happened to pronunciation?
What happened to what?
What bot is this?
What? It's the same one as always.
What?
What? So, showing up on the screen and everything, right? Yeah, that seems to be fine. So location, this thing, and the extra information of A. So just gotta bump that one back.
EWW Giant. The first pronunciation was like EWW Giant.
I did say that. I don't know. Bot does what bot does. Wait, is the music really loud?
WTF.
No. Seems louder on my side for some reason.
Vampire Frog. Eugenia.
Well, let's check that I haven't broken anything yet. I haven't really done anything. Better say sorry though.
Eugene. Test.
It said Eugene that time. What? I don't know what it's trying to do. It's all over the place. You gotta wait for the word to disappear before it'll say the name top. Like the last message to disappear for it if you want it to say your name again. I did break
Exactly.
something.
Vampire Frog. Dubia Gina.
Whoa.
EWW Giant. Are you trolling?
Is that differently? I'm trying to say it the weirdest way. Yeah, man. Good old chatbots.
Have you implemented some sort of feature?
Nope.
Vampire Frog. It's reading them out of order.
It's reading them out of order. What do you mean? I said it the right way. Or at least as the way that it's showing it in here, right? Unless it's showing it something in a different way over there.
EWW Giant. You sure? It did.
Yeah, they're two different things getting the messages, so I don't know, it should still be in the right order. Whatever. Yeah, because this is the one that does the speaking, which is different from the one down here. They have different timings for when they get the messages. But even then, it should still get it in the same order because it's ordered by date. It's just added into a list, unless that list has always been inverted. It's the only way I can think of. Just never noticed. What am I doing? 277. 2. Wait, where? 277 in shader render. Okay.
EWW Giant. Rapid input needed to test it.
Yeah. It's gonna. It's also. I mean, no, it's just I don't understand. I mean Okay, I guess that's how it works. The D-Live one has to send the messages to my server.
Event. The voice is different.
Should be the same voice. It's just pronouncing things weirdly for no particular reason. It does that. At least it's still the voice. I had it one time where it just suddenly disappeared and it was just like the default terrible one. Don't know why that ever happened.
Vampire Frog. Balls. Eugene. Even the voice asterisk. Vampire Frog. Poopy.
Yeah, so
Contact.
the switching of the messages
Judy.
would be because, yeah, the D-Live one gets sent to my server, and then the thing checks to see the server, which would have it all in order, and then just retrieves the stuff that's
EWW
newer.
Giant. CC. Vampire Frog. PP.
The
Eugene. It
the Twitch
happened
one.
again. XD.
Yeah, the Twitch one is a separate thing. That's got nothing to do with my server-side stuff. It's just a simple request getting thing from Twitch's API junk. So, if it requested my one first, and then the Twitch one, or if it requests the Twitch one first, and then my one, and then whether or not the Twitch one lines up, because you could probably ask the Twitch one twice in a row, and it'll come up with two different things. For whatever magical reason, which I'm assuming is why sometimes it says people leave and join randomly. When they haven't. So that's why the messages will get all flipped around. Uh, my arm has smoothed out a part of this leather chair. It's weird. It's probably about to start fraying and peeling off in that area too. The chair's falling to bits. That's how it was made. Still works as a chair though, so whatever. Anyway, what is it? Broken 277 was it? Number indexing. That's a thing. Did I do something wrong? Don't know what that thing was for, but it ain't needed. I can only assume that I got some sort of an error in this, but it seems fine.
Eugene, this is a test, hoping that will be WW Giant pronunciation voice, to see and compare if it's the same.
Did it? It said Eugene that time, didn't it? I don't know, I was paying attention. Okay, so apparently something's dumping the wrong information through here? Okay.
I mean, yes. EWW Giant.
Well, I guess that's your name now. EWW Giant.
Vampire Frog. Farts.
I didn't change anything. Hang on. What line is calling this? I mean, that's apparently also on 277. Oh, 277. That'd be in here. Wait, why is this stuff getting called?
EWW Giant. I am having fun XD.
I am confused. I mean, that would be the one with the problem, but this whole thing just doesn't actually happen. And the other one shouldn't be there either. It should be disabled unless for some reason it's not. No, everything seems to be fine. What's going on? I don't like it for some reason.
Vampire Frog. Thanks OBGYN, very cool. Eugene, implement a feature so that certain users certain voice.
I could do that. Yeah, I was thinking of doing that at one point, wasn't I? So it just assigns a random voice to every user. And I could have it like a permanent thing, and then if you donate, I'll change the voice for you. Yeah, that's right. I completely forgot I was going to try to... Well, I was thinking of doing that. You know, it's a pretty lame thing. And then also it's just, you know, looking for donations. Why have I got a message on my phone? What's going on?
Yes, and there was the mood-based thing. Singing.
Yeah, I couldn't get that to work because it... I don't know what happens. It, yeah, it does a big delay whenever I tell it the message to happen, but for some reason the stop thingy doesn't. I don't know, it works the way it works. Take a whole lot of time to look into it. But this is Dell's project. Try to get this to work first. Probably gonna be a short day today. What the world would be wrong with this though? I mean, the code was copy pasted. It just doesn't like 277 for some reason. Wait, where am I?
EWW Giant. Nah, I mean moon-based game voice singing.
Yeah, I know. It's the changing the pitch and frequency and stuff like that. Like, it won't let me do that and have it seamlessly match up. It'll have the same amount of pause as if you said, yeah, if you say two messages in a row, the pausing between the two messages is entirely the chat thing, and that's what it'll have between every change in pitch and frequency and stuff. There's nothing as far as I can tell, that I'm able to do about that. Wow. What, did I misread the number? No, 277, number indexing. I mean, that's the number indexing. but that's not 277. And well, apparently number
I'ma get some
indexing
fucking
has...
sleep. Good luck, stubborn boy.
Oh, well, thanks for dropping by. And 11.
See you, Eugenia. EWW Gine. XD. BR bathroom. BRB asterisk.
BRB, be right bathroom. What am I doing? So apparently one's a float, one's an int. I don't know why it thinks this in the first place. Numbers is an int. That's supposed to be it. Oh, I upgraded this. Yeah, okay, that's expecting floats. You're now ints. What is the number indexing? Which, that one's already got the extra things gotten rid of. Oh, I wonder. Maybe I changed something in number indexing. I don't know. Yeah, I have changed a number of things. Maybe some of those was creating the encoding error. Okay. So perhaps I don't even need to change anything and everything will just magically work as I hoped it will. You know, you can't find problems? Then maybe there actually isn't any problem, it's just lying to you. After a number of restarts and doing the exact same thing multiple times in the row, it'll just work, you know? That works, right? Well, that's going to have problems everywhere else that this thing's used now. Wait, what? What? Okay, so apparently I have two of these. Interesting. Huh. I guess because the one when that thing was trying to run was the other one. It did a thing. Let's actually copy all of that up here, down here. It all sort of is in the same line of stuff. Not really, but whatever. Uh, 389 to be expected. But what? Ah, okay, sure, whatever. You just be you. That thing's an in. I mean, that's an IVEX, so supposedly that would be an in. At least this stuff's built to work with it, so it should be all fine. I don't think I changed anything between this version and the other one. They should both be running the newest things. What? 389. What the hell are you? 389. Okay. I mean, that should be perfectly fine, but whatever. What if I do that? You magically decide you like that? Nope. 389. Is it because that hasn't been created yet? Okay. What if I do that? Huh. That's a surprising thing I've never noticed. Sure. Apparently gotta create functions in the correct order. What if you're gonna have like circular dependency functions which you can't create like that? But whatever. Nope, still there. Didn't magically fix itself, but it's working, so I can continue on. What was I up to? So we're getting the relative z information. After getting that, I feel like I should find these things. Yeah, it's like a group of stuff. Now we can get the relative coordinates according to this thing. I could create a function out of this. A little annoying because I'd require multiple versions of the function depending on how many things are going through it. But I feel like I use this thing enough that I could combine it into a function. Enough being more than 3 times, I suppose. Depending on the context, yeah, I suppose I would be. I mean, sort of. I am using it more than 3 times, but not for each individual thing. Is P2 always 0? Yes. Seemingly. Why not? Let's build it into a function. Supposedly functions are optimized more, but at least the JavaScript. I'm not quite sure what it would do here. This isn't even a vector, it's just a float, isn't it? Float. Rel 3 points, so I got point relative to 3 things, and then the relative to the 3 things, where is the point? So it's just the reverse of that one, I guess. And then this one is an F. And yes, I mean they're all technically returning a float of some sort. But this one's just inputting floats. Okay, sure. And I guess I just say like, what do I say here? I guess we always have 3 points, so this would be float P1, P2, and P3. Okay. So 1 would become 0. I feel like we do not need the 0 part of these. Why do we have a 0 part of these? We don't ever seem to use anything else. Okay.
Eugene, and now T. BRT, XD.
Said Eugene that time. You're right too. Just never know how it's gonna pronounce your name. But that's exactly what it was doing last time. But it was using a different voice, and then every now and again it would use the right voice, and then it would go back to the wrong voice again. It's like, what? Yeah. I don't understand how text-to-speech things work. I'm assuming it's all within the web browser, but maybe it does some sort of online server thing. 1.2.3. And then we need A and rel, which I'm assuming is a float. A and vec2 rel. Yeah, I feel like I could optimize rel to not need that part, but we do need A for this part, so I could combine those together somehow, probably. But whatever, for now, I do not care. That's more advanced than I'm willing to get into. So that should be everything. Wait, this is using AA, wasn't it? So you would just be A. And well, rel is rel. Oops. This is a vec 3, not a vec 2. Okie dokie, and then return. So that becomes this, and this becomes that. Six. Like that. All the dot dashes where they seem to be, then we place you. So supposedly, this goes here. What? Yeah, rel 3. So that's equal to this. P1 being that thing. I feel like I can remove some brackets. Why not? At least that amount of brackets. P2. P2 was always nothing. Why is P2 always nothing? And then what is P3? Oh wait, hang on, I got this backwards. No. Hang on. Wait, what? No, that's the initial ones of these. It's all backwards. So that bracket could be removed here and also up there. Okay. So yeah, this stuff's what goes into there. Why the zeros though? Oh, cause yeah, I understand. So these become these things.
Eugene, I so wanna voice call ya sad face.
I can hear your voice right now, you don't need to. And A is AA, and rel is relay. Relay? All of that go away. Okay. And nothing broke?
Eugene, that pronunciation.
Yeah, I'd say Eugene. It's, I think it was just messing with you, man. It's just trolling you. Okay. 6, 4, 4. Yep, that makes sense. Really? Would it? I don't know. Oh yeah, I've named this stuff P1 and P2 as well as these things. I guess I could just rename this to be like A and B.
EWW Jine. I suppose I can set up voice to text and send it here right away. HMHM.
Yeah, that's saying your name wrong again. Wait, that's not right. We just want to change that one. Wait, what? Yeah. Let's just undo. So that one's an A, that one's an A, that one's an A, that one's a B.
Eugene, broken phone game much?
And now it works again. I got one friend who insists on texting. He doesn't like talking anymore. I think it just takes too much effort for him to like construct sentences. Wait, what? Construct sentences in his head and then speak them. Because he's tried, like, he's all like about the whatever it is, whatever you call it. Hang on. Okay, redefinition.
EWW Jine, let's talk. So it does for me, but
What? What's the problem here? How do I've already used A, so I can't use A. I've already used P because it's technically the relative point thingies. I can't use P. What is some other generic thing? I can't use 1. I can't use I. I is not valid here. I guess I could just say A1. And A2. It should be P, but P's already used. Whatever, that'll do.
Eugene, takes a while to properly compile sentences.
Yeah. So, but he's all, it's like anxiety and stuff like that, I guess. So he doesn't, got another app. 647B. Oh yeah. He doesn't like talking to people because he doesn't like the awkwardness between them saying something and him having to reply. This is what I'm assuming goes on. And so he just doesn't like talking anymore. And he would rather text and stuff like that because then he could read back their old things because maybe like to help stop misunderstandings and stuff with what they said because he's all over the place with these thoughts. Like one movie in particular I went to see with this guy. It was that one where all of the people were the same people. Space. Brad Pitt. Was that the guy? Why does this take so long? No, not that one. I never got to see that one at the movies. Damn it! I wonder how long before it comes out. The on a high quality thing. Space movie. There's the one with everyone being the same guy. Obsidian? I think it was like Obsidian or... Is it Obsidian? No. It was something like that.
EWW Giant, no idea.
Matt Damon, maybe? No, that's the one with the loop and time thing, isn't it? Martian, okay. Martian. No, I don't think it was Elysium. I say recent, but this really was not recent now. This is probably over 5 years ago. Why does it take so damn long? I can't use Google on my other browser anymore though, because it sucks. It's the weird Google, where this thing isn't green anymore. It's got a little icon there. This is at the bottom now, I think, or at the very, very top. I don't know. It's all mixed around and weird. And it makes it look like all of these things are ads, so my brain just immediately ignores it. Jeez.
Mono, I made a basic sketch of the track I have in mind.
Basically, the movie was... Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, hello. Hey, you just joined. Basically, the movie was about this, every person is this... No, hang on. So, there... Can I just get a list of movies or something? There hasn't been that many of them. I actually had a dream that was somewhat like this movie before it happened. I don't really remember what the dream was though, but...
EWW Giant, Surrogate.
No.
Surrogate.
Pitch Black. God, that cover looks so terrible. These are all real old ones. Event Horizon. That thing was terrifying if I remember. the black hole. I really want to know what it's called now. I really feel like that should have come up with the right thing.
Mono, tomorrow I have to be at work at 8 in the morning and I'll work till 6 in the evening.
Sounds like fun. But anyway, basically the point is, watching this movie, I can't remember exactly what happens in the movie anymore, but it was something along the lines of, there was a guy and he's doing maintenance and he's on Earth, I think it is. Some sort of catastrophe has happened on Earth.
Mono, 10 hours.
Alright. Damn, that's a long work day. Yeah, there's been some sort of catastrophe, so he's down there in a sector looking after equipment and stuff like that, and
EWW Giant IK.
yeah, there's a orbiting space station with like the last of humanity on it or some sort of a thing like that, and
Linked here. Mono, 8 hours is what is legal at my age here.
And then, but yeah, so basically it wasn't, I don't think it was really a clone either, or I might be getting my movies mixed together. Yeah. Was it Tom Cruise? Oblivion, maybe. I think it was Oblivion. I can copy that.
EWW Giant, that one.
Yeah. So... yeah, I think it was this one.
The one I liked.
Yeah, so basically...
As IDID and Herd XD.
I don't know. This movie, Oblivion. So basically, he's like, look at it. Oh god, that looks terrible. He's looking after this equipment, something goes wrong, he has to travel outside of the sector that he is supposed to be within. He's supposed to be the only person down on Earth doing this stuff. And then he meets some other people, which isn't right, there shouldn't be other people. And then it basically turns out...
Mono, this no joke used to be my favorite movie, The Brave Little Toaster, linked here.
Oh yeah, same when I was little. I don't remember anything about it. I tried to rewatch it and it was unbelievably dark and terrifying. Like, I used to just basically watch that movie on loop when I was little. The movie was sort of like a fever dream, is how I remember it now. Like, so many crazy emotions and stuff like that, stuff that I'd never experienced since, sort of thing. It was just there's like another lifetime, like a lifetime ago sort of a thing, you know? A different reality I lived in back then. I tried rewatching it, it was just so dark and terrible, I didn't want to watch it. It was awful. Like, you know, it was crazy. Like, oh my god. Anyway, yeah, so this movie goes outside of his sector, finds other people, and it turns out basically there's lots of these sectors around the place, and there's lots of him, and there's been lots of him, or something like that. Basically, he's like a clone sort of thing, he goes down, he does his thing, and he leaves or whatever, and then a new one of him comes down and takes his place, I think it was, and there was like some base thingy that he'd been growing, or living in outside the borders, and I don't know, something about the girl. I don't think the girl was a clone.
Mono, the clown was very scary.
Yeah. And, yeah, basically it was something along the lines of he was an astronaut and there was some anomaly, like space anomaly thing, and he went to check it out, and the space anomaly basically made many clones of him. And sent them back or something like that, and I don't know, something rather about the Earth. I can't remember enough about the movie. Something along the lines of this. He was a clone because of an alien space race, and the orbiting spaceship didn't actually have any people on it. I don't think it was actually like the alien spaceship thingy or something like that, and humanity was like the people he was taking orders from were the aliens or something like that, and humanity has basically gone extinct or something, and they were like hiding underground and things. I don't know, something along the lines of that. But yeah, talking to my friend about it who was there, the one that's terrible at like the sentences and all that sort of junk, doesn't want to talk anymore. Like, the way he saw the movie is that there wasn't any aliens, nothing like that. It was Nazis that were in space that had a base on the other side of the moon or some sort of thing like that. And they were taking everything over. And it was just like, what? There was absolutely nothing in this entire movie about Nazis whatsoever in the slightest. It was very clearly an alien thing. And it was just the way that he saw this movie was so unbelievably different to the way that everybody else saw it. Like, it was me and two other people, like me, him, and one other guy that went to see it. And it was just like, what? Crazy. He has really twisted, warped perspective of reality, and that's just the way he likes it. He doesn't see it as a problem when it very clearly is, like, lately. I mean, not lately, it's just gotten worse and worse over time. Don't really know what it's at now. I feel like he's gotten a bit better, but you never know.
Mono, when you said Nazi, I got Hellsing Ultimate flashback.
Okay.
Eugene,
Yeah, so he doesn't want to talk on the phone anymore, because then he doesn't like to talk to people anymore. He'd rather just text them, because then he can reread old messages and stuff like that.
You mentioned of him.
Yeah. I talk about him every now and again. I haven't talked about him for a while. He apparently jumps and checks in the stream every now and again. Yeah, he's like... Yeah. He's a guy. All over the place. Pretty crazy. Basically, he's like really obsessed about Japanese and like the idea of Japanese, not actual reality Japanese sort of stuff. And it's to a self-destructive point. Like, he loses friendships over it all the time. He doesn't communicate with any person basically who isn't Japanese. Like, me and the other guy that was with us when we went to the movie are the two exceptions that I know of other than his family. But he will literally just does not communicate with anyone unless they are very clearly of Japanese descendant in some sort of a way, like pure blood or whatever. Because he's got a really, really twisted thing of all that sort of stuff. Anyway, basically, like, Japanese people are like angels directly from God sort of thing. Like, they could not do any harm. Like, everything about them is just like perfection. And if it isn't in some way, it's not because they are wrong, it's because everybody else is wrong, sort of stuff. Like, that sort of ideology. It's like a religion he's built out of it, I guess. And every time that he tries to talk to a Japanese person about the stuff, obviously they're like, oh, what the world is like going on here, man? Like, what are you talking about? And he'll get to the point, as far as I can tell, where they'll eventually just stop talking to him. And that's that. End of that relationship. On to the next one. And yeah, he says that happens because he's too close to the truth, and they don't want him to know about this stuff because it's not supposed to be known by...
Mono, so he's a Japanophile.
I guess. Yeah. Like a huge conspiracy theory sort of stuff. Like, no non-Japanese person can learn Japanese because it's a secret language that only Japanese people know, and what people know outside of Japanese people is like the pretend language of it. It's not the real one. Stuff like that. So he's trying to learn the real one, like the behind-the-scenes craziness that's going on, because really they're like the Illuminati controlling the world. Because technically Japanese people are aliens, because... I don't know really why, but Japanese people are aliens, but so are Jewish people, which he also happens to be, supposedly. It's more of a self-claim as far as I'm concerned. But Japanese people and Jewish people are both aliens from the same descendant of, like, the same race of aliens or something like that. Where the Japanese people, I guess, are more pure or something. Basically, they want to get off the planet or something like that, and they're also controlling the planet behind the scenes, so everything that happens is because of Japanese things. Like cryptocurrency is a Japanese thing, it's a Japanese invention and stuff, and because that's the way that Japanese businesses work. They're all cryptocurrencies. And it's like, you know what a cryptocurrency is, right? You're like, what? I don't know. Basically, all of the craziness that is that guy is all hinging on, like, straw man sort of style things, I think. I think that's the right way to use that word. Never understood what straw man supposedly means. Basically, a whole lot of stuff built on something that isn't really true in the first place, or never really got fact-checked. So, like, the whole cryptocurrency thing is because cryptocurrency is exactly the same as how the Japanese things are, because the way the Japanese things, the businesses are, is everyone basically looks out for each other, and that's cryptocurrency. Something along the lines of that, which Japanese have their own special word for it, which other languages don't have, but then he literally says the word for it in other languages. I'm like, isn't that the word? He's like, oh no, it's not the same though. I don't know, lots of crazy stuff like that.
Mono, I'm laughing real hard right now. Look, ha 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 ha
Yeah.
ho he ho.
He's a real character, that guy. But yeah, it started to get real. I guess it has gotten worse. Now he's at the point where he says, like, at least this is his excuse. I think he's just making up excuses, but I'm not sure if he's just made up an excuse and then that excuse has become back to him and it's not an excuse anymore. It's now a reason that he thinks is actually true, or if like he's just, you know, just saying an excuse. Because like his current thing is he's living at a share house, and his excuse for not talking on the phone is because he's living with Asian people of some sort, and they don't want him talking. Just in general, I guess. He's also not allowed to cook food, just basically at all. I mean, there's conditions to it, like, he's not allowed to talk at nighttime, but then he also just won't talk anyway, even if it's not nighttime, as long as there's other people in the house, or he won't talk in case somebody comes home while he's talking. He also doesn't want to cook at nighttime again, because he'll wake everybody up and stuff. Like, it's, you know, you're renting a place. I don't think anybody's gonna care if you just microwave a thing or whatever, or boil a pot of water, as long as he's not making lots of loud noises and stuff like that. But you can do it quietly. They don't care, not gonna care. But I don't think he cooks food at all, really, except for in the morning, I think, when everybody else has left. Yeah, and his variety of food consists entirely of noodles, as far as I can tell. Noodles and like steak meat, like cow meat of some sort, I think. I think he also has bacon and I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what the hell he's eating, but basically just wheat and meat. That's all he eats. And bok choy or whatever. I guess that's something. It's better than nothing. But like I was talking to him a while ago, and he was like, he wanted to buy food, but he's getting sick of noodles, but he doesn't know what else to buy. And he literally could only think of noodles, as if there is no other food. There is only noodles. Like, absolutely nothing else, just noodles and cow meat of some kind. I guess he also has sausages, probably, I don't know. But that's it. Like, he's become so constrained in his worldviews that that is all of the food. I don't know. So basically, he just seems to either not eat, or he eats by getting food out, like going out and getting food. of which he's absolutely terrible for picking food when it comes to money and stuff like that. He doesn't work or anything. He's got like no money and things. But then like
Mono, not even rice ball.
he doesn't like rice. How did that become an image? Whatever. I think it just shows the image in the chat thing as well, so I don't even know what typed. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, like he would buy just absolute junk food, like I don't know, he'd probably spend like $30 on Hungry Jack's or whatever he gets. He doesn't like McDonald's. I think it's Hungry Jack's. Yeah. And then he'll go get more food later on.
EWW giant image would again. I was tabbed out.
He put a rice bowl in chat. And it shows it there as well. I don't know how did what did you type in to get that? But anyway, so yeah. So he's lost lots of relationships because of this stuff. And, you know, only dating Japanese girls and stuff like that, which, you know, he's not the sort of person you would ever expect to be able to have relationships with another person in the slightest. But it seems like he can quite easily get another Japanese girlfriend at any time. But then he's got like lots of twisted morals with that sort of stuff, like cheating on people is okay because they were going to cheat on you anyway. But if a girl cheats on him, then oh my god, it's like it's the end of the world. But like at one time he had this girlfriend that was like the most perfect person in the world. Like she was amazing. Like in terms of like for him, like she loved him without condition basically, and he did basically horrible things.
I typed rice ball. I can also type rice, cooked rice, and noodle steaming bowl.
Does that appear on the other one as well? Yeah, it does. Yeah, like he did some terrible things to this girl because basically she supposedly cheated on him, but before they were officially going out or anything, like when he first met her, I'm assuming it was something along the lines of this, she was already seeing somebody else or something like that, and then they officially started dating and things, and I guess she never really saw the other guy again. But he was convinced that she cheated on him with this other guy before they were officially doing anything or possibly even met. But instead of directly asking her, he just got more and more angry about it because she never told him anything about it. And he just knows this stuff is true in fact and stuff, even though there was absolutely no evidence to show anything like happened or anything like that. And even if it did, it was before, like according to him, it was before anything was happening between them anyway. And this girl, like, they would spend like basically like, if he wasn't doing something with her, then he wasn't doing anything at all. He would just be in his room just waiting basically for her to finish class or something like that. And at this time he was supposed to be going to college or university or whatever, so he just ditched that so he could hang out with her, sort of thing. You know, I don't know, something along the lines of that anyway. And basically she was only temporarily here in Australia and she ends up going back home, and then he goes to Japan with her, and I don't think she paid for his tickets to go over there. I think he got himself over there. But he had absolutely no money at all to his name. And she paid for a hotel for him to stay in. And he basically just stayed at that hotel waiting for her to finish her classes and her work, which I think she had 2 different jobs and also did her classes and stuff. And while this was happening, she was paying for his rent, she was also paying for his internet, and also paying for any food or anything. Like she was doing everything for this guy to live there. And he just became more and more angry as time went on about her because she wouldn't admit that she slept with this other guy. And while he was over there, he cheated on her multiple times because she did it, so why can't he, sort of a thing. And, you know, just one time wasn't enough because, you know, she obviously didn't learn a lesson, so he cheated with more girls and stuff. And Yeah, he was saying like all sorts of crazy things, like he was just going to trash the apartment and leave, so she would have to pay all of the debt and stuff like that to repair it all and things, and like really like violent stuff like that. And I just kept telling her, just ask her, literally directly ask her, did she cheat with anybody? And it really wouldn't have mattered what the world she said, because he's still going to insist that it happened regardless. There's absolutely no trust between them. And he would even steal her phone and things like that. Like, one story he told me one time was they were at a train station, and there was a train with its doors about to close, so he grabs the phone, runs into the train, so he can check her messages to see who had been, like, who she'd been messaging and stuff like that. And like, I was like, that's not okay, man. He's like, oh, you're not really a friend, because a real friend would support me. I'm like, no, a real friend would not support this behavior in the slightest. This is not okay, man. Yeah, all sorts of crazy stuff like that. He ended up eventually asking her directly, and she just basically broke down in tears. And obviously nothing had happened, and that's what she said, and obviously he didn't believe her. So he continued on with that sort of mentality all the way to the end. And eventually, like, his mum paid for him to go visit, because he hadn't seen his mum for like many years. He even says he doesn't have a mum. And yeah, he ended up going and staying with his mum, and he didn't tell his girlfriend that he was leaving. I think she just happened to come by as he was packing his bag and was about to leave out the door, or he called her over on that at the very last minute, I don't know. And obviously she was like breaking down in tears and stuff like that as he just picked up and left. No warnings beforehand or anything, and that was that. But she would be sending it, like when she was away and he was still over here, she was sending him like care packets with like a whole lot of Japanese food and drink and stuff like that. She gave him like this, like a little book thing that was full of their memories and photos of each other, and, you know, writing in both Japanese and English about like how much of a fun time they have, and she can't wait to see him again and all this sort of stuff. Like she was the perfect girlfriend. Like, you're never going to find another girl like that. I kept telling her, like, she's a one of a kind. It's like, no other girl is going to like you like so unconditionally as this girl. And him to her, like, he hated being without her and all this sort of stuff, but the more he liked her, the more he hated her, because she was making him do these things and blaming her for stuff, like, crazy stuff like that. Anyway, so it just sort of devolved from there, I guess, you know. Nothing ever got as serious, because I doubt he's ever going to find a girl like that again. And, yeah. Oh, this guy. He's just in a spiral of destruction, and he doesn't want to get out of it. It's everybody else that's wrong, not him, and all that sort of stuff.
Mono, she was an angel, and he was a madman, basically.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of a guy hiding in my room? It was a YouTube guy that got popular for a while. This guy is basically that guy, but worse in a lot of ways, and wishes he could be that guy. The hiding in my room guy was a guy that was from England, I think it was, and he was going to Japan, and he would basically get a Japanese girlfriend and then go to Japan after saving enough money to go there and live with this Japanese girlfriend, so he didn't have to pay rent, and then he would break it off with her when he went back, and then he would get a new one and just repeat the cycle over and over again. That's the hiding in my room guy, until he eventually found one girl that he wanted to be with a whole lot more, and ended up staying there and living in Japan, and, you know, whole downward spiral thing. Basically the same sort of stuff, no trust or anything like that between them. Yeah. I don't know, this guy's crazy. But he's got the luck of the devil, I say. Like, he somehow just has this stuff magically happen. Like, getting lots of money and stuff. If he wants something, he will have it, regardless of absolutely anything. Like, he wanted to go to Japan. Like, he finally reached that stage where he really wanted to go to Japan, and then he was in Japan the next week. That was that. Then he came back and he wanted to go to Japan again. In Japan the next week, and then again. So he did it 3 times. After the first time, he had absolutely no money. The second time he went, he had $10 on him when he was in the airport in
Mono,
Japan, and that was
why
it.
do you call him hiding in your room, man?
hiding in my room is a guy on YouTube. I wonder if he's still around. I'll get a Facebook message. Good morning. Oh, he's in the stream. Yeah. Anyway. So... crazy stuff. You know. I want to say he's getting better.
EWW Giant, yes.
I'm not sure. He sent me a message with a screenshot of the stream and said good morning. Apparently he's on the YouTube one though. I don't see the information about the damn YouTube thing. He sent a message there apparently. I'm not sure what that was. I doubt he would have stayed around long. Damn it, why am I on Facebook now? I'm too distracted. Oh god. No, don't. Go away, Facebook. Okay, I'm gonna prove these two guys in. What was I gonna look at? I don't know. So, whatever, back to my stuff. Enough about rambling about people. ZA undeclared identifier.
Mono, greater than.
Really? Coffee greater than a bowl of wasabi? He didn't speak those ones out. Weird.
EWW Giant, TXD.
Oh, I don't have either. I was trying to drink tea for a while, but you're not really drinking tea, you're just drinking sugar dissolved in water. Because that's the amount of sugar I would have. And tea itself doesn't really taste that nice. To me anyway. Tea is basically what juice was, like cordial and stuff, before cordial and stuff was a thing. That's what I say. You know, how else do you flavor water in a compact way? I'm pretty sure that one exists, seeing as I literally created that function. What? Did I miss a thing? It's the one that says it doesn't exist.
Mono, there is a certain type of tea we have at home a lot you might like.
Oh, this thing's a 0. Yeah. I mean, as I said, basically I'd only like it if it tastes like sweet sugar, basically. And in which case you're not really drinking tea, you're just drinking sugar. Yeah. I've basically stopped drinking anything but really water nowadays.
Eugene, latte tea. No.
That's new. Okay, I appear to have a problem with the ZDEP.
Latte chai. Mono, it's sweet and you don't put anything in it. EWW Giant Chai Latte. That one.
I don't drink energy drinks or any junk like that anymore. I mean, never really did in the first place though. It was AA0, right?
Try it.
Maybe one day. Is it 1, not 0? Damn, this song is terrible. This isn't a song, it's just a beat. But then later on it gets better if I remember right. I guess it is pretty basic all the way through. Get out of here. Oh, I removed like 30 songs from my playlist now. It's getting less and less. Fine. Then.
Mono, this is it linked here.
What's this? What was I rambling about all that stuff for? I don't remember anymore. Okay. Well, I mean, it's probably sweet because it contains basically just sugar. Or an artificial sweetener of some sort. It's not sugar itself that I don't... It's not that I don't like sugar. It's that, you know...
Video we have here.
I'm already eating a ton of sugar anyway, just on a daily basis. I should try to at least avoid at least what I can, you know. I don't really also need to be adding it to anything I drink. Did I change something? I think I changed something. Changed, upload, and refresh.
Mono, I don't really eat any sugar except on my bread.
Okay, I mean, bread has sugar in it, as far as I know. So, I mean, you're not directly adding any sugar to what you eat, is what you mean, I guess. That seems to be working. Back up and running. But yeah, just because you're not directly adding sugar doesn't mean that pretty much everything you eat's just loaded with sugar anyway. That's just modern society for you. Sugar everywhere. But yeah, bread has sugar in it, especially white bread. I think that's got like a lot of sugar in it compared to other breads. Like they add sugar in the making process. And lots of things just have sugar in them anyway, like, you know, fruit and things. Those are basically just blocks of sugar, in a way. Oranges and stuff like that. And sugar is sugar. There is no differences between one sugar and another sugar. Like, generally. What is it? No, I think sugar is one of the things that's just one of.
Sprinkles and chocolate flakes on bread.
Yeah, you do that here too. Fairy bread, it's called. Fairy bread, a staple of Australian cuisine.
EWW Giant, sucrose versus sugar.
Sucrose is sugar. Yeah, that's what we have here, fairy bread. Usually white bread, a little bit of butter, then they just sprinkle it with hundreds of thousands. Whoa. That looks delicious. I like, this is a cake. Like, this sort of style thing is a cake. Like, cake is one of those really annoying things where usually the fancier the cake looks, the worse it tastes.
Mono, look up Hagelslag.
Like, this thing probably tastes like trash. I don't know. Owl looks pretty good. These ones look pretty good, really, actually. They look like they'd probably mostly taste good. But you get like these really rich cakes, these mud cakes that you get in cafes and stuff, and they're so bad. Like, they have 110% of the ingredients they should crammed into this tiny thing. Like, oh, not 110%, like 200% of the ingredients. It's like, you should be able to make 3 cakes from the stuff they crammed into this one. So it's just like, you don't taste anything anymore, it's just 100% overload. I don't like that. You can't eat it. It's just like you're eating a you know, you may as well just be eating raw sugar, but it doesn't taste sweet anymore because it's got so much other junk mixed into it. Yes, that's the exact same thing. What do you have underneath it? Is that something else underneath it? Is that butter? It looks like something else. It's not like frosting or something.
EWW Giant, WTFXD.
My experience anyway, most of the time when I've gone and got some really fancy cake that costs like over $30 or so. I think I got like a $60 cake one time, and it was the worst thing I ever eaten. I didn't even get to eat it. And that's like unheard of for me, you know. I do not turn down any sort of candy or sugary thing. But this thing was terrible. I like had flashback. It gave me PTSD from trying to eat this thing. It just tasted so bad. It was a velvet chocolate cake or something rather. I think it was. Red velvet. Something along the lines of this, I guess. So I had like frosting all around it, but it's not frosting. It's that I can't remember what it's called. Like they don't layer frost. Okay, maybe it was something different.
Mono, and what we eat on bread is way more than you. We also combine this with peanut butter a lot and eat it every morning.
Oh wow. Well, it's just a thing that kids eat basically here. Every kid in Australia grew up eating that stuff every now and again. Special time. I get just every now and again. I don't think there ever was an occasion. It'd just be every now and again. You're like, hey, fairy bread, and your friends are over, hot weather, playing like a water balloon fight or something. I don't know. This stuff. This black stuff that would be on the outside of this. It's not. It's like a. It would be like a sheet of something rather that you wrap around the cake rather than frosting that you spread over the cake. I can't remember what it's called, but it is the most terrible tasting stuff ever. Like I always expected it to be like frosting, like really sweet and delicious, but it's not. It tastes terrible, and it's just like this cheap layered thing. Like the bakeries probably just buy this thing in boxes, and it's just sheets of this stuff, and you just layer it on the cake. There you go. So it just takes like a few seconds to build one of these damn things. I don't know, and it's just so terrible. I hate it. It tastes so bad.
Haggle slag is just a normal thing you can put on your bread. It's nothing special, and the packaging is very different.
Oh yeah. Well, why has it got packaged? What, you mean the sprinkles? What I'm assuming the sprinkles are just like sugary sort of a thing. Here we just have hundreds and thousands, I guess. So yeah, hundreds of thousands of little dot things. You got those, and you got a number of other sprinkly things like the ones you were showing. Usually it's 100,000s though. But basically they're just like a single grain of sugar that has been coated in I don't know what. I guess just color and flavoring, more sugar. Yeah, you got this stuff as well. Sugar strands. You know, if you're at a girl's place or something, they might have shaped ones.
Mono, look up De Ruyter Hagelslag.
Weird names you got for things. I think I'm less of a programming stream, more just a rambling stream. Seems like lately. I do programming when everybody else leaves. Is this any different? I mean, I can't read any of the stuff, so it's just the sprinkles. Okay. I can't really explain what my ones are like in Australia, so I wouldn't be able to do a comparison between what they're like from your ones. I'm assuming they're basically the same thing. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much that for that ramble. Candy usually tastes terrible. The more expensive it is, the worse it tastes. Gonna be going to the Supernova thing, but it's like $37 for a ticket. What the world is this junk? Or $45 at the door. Ugh. Big anime convention thing. I don't know what's going on. Supposedly I'm gonna be going there. I've got a friend that's going there, if you can call him that.
Mono, also our pancakes are very different. A Dutch and American pancake have almost nothing in common.
Yeah. You hear that? It's just messaging me. I really don't really care at the slightest about going to this convention thing. It'd be really fun if I could go with friends, but this guy's going to be there and he says it would be cool if we just, you know, caught up at the place, you know. As in, he's going to be like full costume and he's just going to basically walk past and say hi. That's it. And he really wants me to go so he could do that. And it costs like $40 to get in there. And then it's just going to be crammed full of people. It's going to be like 40 degrees Celsius. Real hot in there it's probably going to be. But it's inside of a big enclosed building now, so maybe it's going to be a lot cooler. And then anything in here is going to be real expensive. It's just going to be a terrible all-around experience, I think, just going by myself. But it's once a year, I may as well go. I just really wish I had somebody to actually go to for these things. With these, go to these things with. Yeah, he just wants to say hi. He's what am I looking at? It's like, I'd expect more.
Honey.
The what? Yeah. No, it's that's an American thing. It doesn't work here. It's a one-off thing. It's not about that. It just is what it is. So it's the big anime convention thing. Events, I guess? Oh, this is the event. Maybe it wasn't in the right page. Oh, there we are. Yeah, so he's like basically a professional cosplayer, and as far as I'm concerned, he builds his own costumes and stuff. He's got like a whole lot of sewing skills and things. He's got a fleet or whatever of 3D printers now, like so many of them. Guess a fleet. I had a better word for it, but I just immediately forgot it. A legion of printers to print all of his stuff. He prints like full-size things like swords and things, helmets, all sorts of junk like that. Real high quality, it looks real nice. So he models it all up and stuff. He's gotten real good at it. Other cosplayers and stuff pay him like fortunes to build stuff for him and things. He's only been doing it for a couple of years now though.
EWW Giant Assembly.
Assembly of 3 things, yeah. Wait, has that actually got more and I can scroll down? You never know nowadays. Nope. I have no clue what's gonna be. Keep the mask on, man. That looks weird. Dare I?
Mono, look up PewDiePie Battle Pack. I'm gonna get it and I think it's gonna be very nice.
What the world is that? PewDiePie Battle Pack. Damn it, this takes too long to load. What is it? Okay. How does that work? How are these sticking there? Do they literally stick to the screen like a suction cup? Or is there like a cover? Does pushing the buttons tap the screen? Or is there a back part to it?
Mono, yes.
Okay. I mean, that seems like just a problem waiting to happen. If those things just like unstick or whatever. Sure.
No, it's connected with the phone.
So, is there like a back part so it like plugs in through the whatever parts on the phone? And these are like clamps just to hold it in place, I take it? Ah, PewDiePie. How old is this photo? He's got a tattoo. I feel like this is a while ago. Like, is there any other information here? There's like nothing clickable. Oh, it's got more photos? How do I change between them?
Mono, no, it's connected in a way like Bluetooth.
What is wrong with this website? The individual Bluetooth parts? That seems a little excessive, but okay. What is that? Oh, I guess that's the little suction-y cup things. Okay. I mean, it's a thing, I guess. I feel like it would be better if you could have an actual controller, and then you just like attach the phone to the controller, but like above it. It's like if you had a PlayStation 3 controller or whatever, like a PlayStation controller, I guess, I don't know. Who knows what PlayStation controllers now, like, but if you had a PlayStation 3 controller, and you didn't have the touchscreen thing or anything like that, you could have like a clamp that holds your phone, clamps it to the top of the controller, and then I guess Bluetooth to it, because that's Bluetooth anyway, and then just some sort of an app you have on your phone, which you can drag around buttons, and basically when you press a button on your controller, it will be like you tap the screen at that location. And then it would like be a special one for a joystick thing you can put down and size to the right thing, and your joystick would just do that. That'd be well better. Or even better yet, just use a computer. How much is it? That's 45 bucks, you know. Not the price of this damn ticket.
Mono, it becomes a controller and it has an app.
What does the app do? Is that actually Sheldon? No. I mean, I haven't seen it for a long time, but whatever. It's gonna be so lame.
Mono, make it work. EWW Giant connects it to PC. Question mark, XD.
Make what work? Oh, I guess because the Bluetooth stuff, whatever.
Mono, that is Sheldon.
I mean, it is? Damn. He looks old. How does it make it work though? Because the buttons are on the physical screen itself. So you wouldn't need Bluetooth or anything for that. It's just the back buttons is all you would need. Whatever. There's no information about this damn thing. Whatever. It's not going to change anything. I'm still going to be going anyway. Keep that up. Order the tickets. Hopefully the tickets don't go up in price as soon as it starts or something. I'm going to wait till last minute. How much?
Mono, the back buttons and a few other functions.
It's 37 now, whatever. What am I doing? So, get back to doing code. About an hour now. Trying to start getting rid of that. I'm going to take an hour to walk there and should really go before it starts heating up, otherwise I'm not going to want to go anyway. What was my problem? No problem. So I just separated that into its own function now, so I guess I'm just going to do that with the rest of the damn things. So that's a Vec 2 version. So this equals that. This would be a 2. And 0, 2, it's always 3. And then A. And rel.
Mono, I'm planning on buying another figurine. Limit is 90 euros. Know anything nice?
I mean, that seems like a lot of money. That's like 100 and something or other Australian, right? That's over 100 Australian, isn't it? That's a lot of money. I mean, you just choose whatever you want, I guess. Oh my god.
What theme?
Really? You're gonna spend that much? Like, you could buy a computer for that, you know? You could buy, I don't know, 14 days worth of Subways. I don't know. You could buy, like, how much is that?
Mono anime.
So, 3. Whoa. It's like 6 weeks worth of food? That would be 6 weeks worth of food for me. Oh my god.
Eugene,
I don't know. I don't care at all really about the physical stuff. What am I doing?
IDK, stop watching anime for 1 year or so now.
Wow. You would have so much you could watch, so many things to catch up on. Well, if you hadn't already watched everything beforehand. I hate it so much when somebody says to me that they got no animes to watch. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? I could literally sit here for the next 3 days listing things that you can watch if you like. You know, for the first day, it'll be things guaranteed you'll like. Now, what am I doing? So the only difference here is we've got Vectors instead of all the other stuff. So I should be able to straight up get rid of that.
EWW Giant, I have read shit ton at some point.
I haven't really read any. I'm not the reading sorts,
And
I'd
now
rather
those
watch.
things are coming out XD.
Yeah. Oh, every single anime right now is a reborn in other
Mono,
world
I
style.
have 250 euro figurines and 230 euro figurines. I also have about 300 euros of manga.
Oh, God. I mean, that's more than I probably have ever spent on myself my
Light
entire
novels
life.
included.
The only things I've ever bought is bought a PlayStation 3, I guess, for $1,000. Technically, this computer I was going to buy myself, but then my grandparents were like, "Oh yeah, we'll buy that for you." I was like, "Okay." I bought a screen and this chair. So what's that like? I don't know. Let's just round that to like $2,000, which. Okay, no, 300 euros. I guess. I'll probably only ever in my entire life spent probably like $3,000 on myself. That's it. You know, everything else other people have bought. You know, other than food, you know, junk like that. Really gonna go buy some more clothes. I've never really bought myself clothes before. But I'm running out of clothes from what I used to wear at school. They're all just completely destroyed now. Holes all over the place and things. Can't really go outside in them anymore. You know, unless it's the middle of the night or something. You know, nobody cares. No, this stuff is still all this. No, this is all Vectors. Because it's a Vector. All the floats to the twos. Oh, that should literally be that. Okay, jumped on. Where'd the code go? So, you know. It's been like 2 hours now, and I haven't done anything. I've just been ranting for 2 hours. 655 dimensional mismatch. Ah yes, because you are a Vector as well. That's probably why that stuff was all in brackets. Okay. And well, that stuff's still in brackets. Doesn't need to be over here then. An hour before the thing starts. Return is a problem? Oh, it's a Vector.
Mono, I like to own a stuff. Further, I bought my own phone for €270, and that is basically it with things I buy for myself. And a quote from Gate: if I had to choose between my hobby and my job, I'd choose my hobby because I only have my job to support my hobby.
Yeah, well, I mean, for stuff like that though, like the figurines and things that are just like, how often do you look and admire them and stuff like that? It's just like, it's just a thing, you know? I mean, the books I can sort of understand, I guess. Although, are you ever going to be rereading them? I mean, if anything, I'll just have digital versions of it, because, you know, one hard drive could have that entire room completely stacked to the roof of books. Just a single hard drive. And you could just pick that up and go. Like, if something happens, like you said, your house is a fire hazard. If something ever burnt down, there goes all of those thousands of dollars worth of, like, things you bought. I actually had that happen to a friend. He lost, like, his house was like a real hoarder's house. All, like, you couldn't see any walls in his house. It was all stacked up full of junk. Really cool looking junk, but junk nonetheless. All burnt down. 841. Because that stuff was whatever that stuff was. The song is chirping, why? Rel 3.2. No matching overload. What have I messed up? 222s, this is a float. That's a Vec 3, those two should be the same. Everything else, Vec 2s are Vec 2s. That doesn't require saying anything. And you output that, what's the problem? Oh, I'm not using it. Wait, what? I'm fairly certain I'm using it. Oh, because I had that space there. Vec 2, Vec 2, Vec 2. That should be the float, and that should. Oh, that's a Vec 3. Is it not a Vec 3 anymore?
Mono, I download books illegally, and if I really like them, I buy them as a yes, I really like this and I want to show that I like it.
You really want to support the developers? I mean, that's another thing. If you're doing it to support developers and stuff like that, then, you know, there's probably a better way that you can do it, because buying the merchandise only gives them a very small fraction of it. Well, I mean, I guess it also supports everybody else, like the advertising people and all that sort of junk, but I imagine most of it goes to, like, the people making the figurine thingies. But yeah, if you wanted to support the people directly, there's probably a more direct way you can do it. But you won't have anything to show for it.
Mono, I don't do it for that purpose.
Okay. You just like to have it. What's going wrong here, damn it? I don't want to undo all the way back, but it should have been fine. Just undo, copy, paste. Vec 2s are Vec 2s. Well, I'm inting that for some reason, but whatever. Wait, why is it rel 0? Oh, because it's rel 0. Not A. A is still A. Did I do something wrong with A? I literally copy pasted it, so it shouldn't be wrong. Shouldn't be a redefining error. Everything seems like it should be fine. Why is it not? Oh, I might be copying rel through the wrong way. Where's it at? No? Ah.
Mono, I just like to show off that I'm a huge degenerate weeb. I've been learning the arts of how to draw hentai for months and planning on buying some Ahigo hoodies. And a body pillow.
Gotta have the body pillow. I mean, that should be the first thing. Or is it a first thing? I don't know. I wonder what the levels of that is. There's probably some chart on the internet. You know, the order that you should be getting these things in. I'd say the body pillow would probably be a further down one. Yeah, maybe I'll get one at the event if there's ones being sold there.
Mono, body pillows can get really expensive.
Yeah, but I've never bought anything like that, never got anything like that, so if I was going to get something, it would be that. What's the problem here, damn it? Why can't you tell me more information? It just says it doesn't exist. I guess the dimensional mismatch is the problem? I don't know, it's a Vec 2. Everything there seems to be the correct stuff. This is a Vec 2, everything here seems to be the correct stuff.
EWW Giant, any interesting story, manga, anime, characters that you would like to have a figurine of?
Me?
XD.
No, not particular. I mean, I like it for what it is. There's no one part of it that I would want. Like, it's an experience.
EWW Giant, all D.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, stuff like anime and stuff like that is an experience. And any one part of it, like a figurine thingy or whatever, is going to be... It's going to be like a piece of like a time of that experience rather than something that describes
Mono,
the whole
I've
or
always
whatever.
been a collector.
That's the way I see it anyway. So... if it was going to be anything, it would have... No, even then, because I only watch things once, and that's it. There's no... I don't obsess about things, other than waiting for the next episode to come out or whatever. But then once everything's done, and I've seen it all, that's that. Like, it doesn't matter how good it is. Like, that's... I had like some saying thing I used to say about it, something about a graveyard of memories, I don't know. Some deep, you know, thing. I think I wrote it down somewhere. I think it's on my Facebook. The Graveyard of Memories. How did it go? Some sort of a paradoxy thing. It's like memories of a... some along the lines of memories of a time of a future past
Usually,
thing, I don't know.
I would probably want something that emotionally traumatized me.
Yeah.
A scene. Mono, I have 2 parts of No Game No Live and 2 parts of Reborn as a vending machine, and now I wonder the dungeon. 2 parts of that time I got reincarnated as a slime, and 1 part of I've been killing slimes for 300 years and now I am max level.
What? You have a vending machine? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
EWW Giant, God, so much isekai.
I don't know. Because I've seen
Yes,
so many
that's a
animes.
manga.
Like stuff about like... I don't know. It's like when you watch certain things like Naruto and stuff, you know everything. You know, technically. You know why he takes a step with his left foot first or something,
Vending
you know?
machine.
I don't know. I mean... I can't really explain it that well. But anyway, there's no one particular thing that I'd want. If it was going to be anything, it would just be like some sort of a meme thing or some sort of a generic character. Like something that's not really from anything, but is like a depiction of what a generic thing would be. That's probably what I would get. I don't know.
Eugene, do you play games?
Yeah. There's not really any good games that have been out for a while though. As I say, if I wasn't programming, I'd be playing games, watching anime, and I'm all out of games and anime. Damn Warframe's getting ahead of me though. I really could not be bothered doing it. Yeah, I mean, sort of. What am I doing? That is a Vec 2, this is all Vec 2s. Everything is a Vec 2, why is there a problem? Again. What's the problem? It doesn't make sense! Vec 2, Vec 2, Vec 2, float, Vec 3. This returns a Vec 2. Vec 2, Vec 2, Vec 2, float, Vec 3. This returns a Vec 2. Vec 2 is Vec 2. Boop-a-doop-a-doop, that should be all perfectly fine.
EWW Gine, did
That
I
doesn't matter,
suggest you to
science.
try some Paradox Interactive games, no? XD.
That's an older game company, isn't it? Which one in particular?
I did asterisk.
What? You did what? You just said play some games, strategy games.
CK2 maybe.
What's CK2? You guys see any problems with this thing? Why isn't it working? Why does it tell me the function does not exist? What does that mean?
Eugene, Stellaris may be up your alley.
I think I've played Stellaris. Or it's that one that I think I've played but I never actually had. Either. Save, re-upload. Did I just not save before? That'd be annoying. Yep. Well, at least it's actually a proper error now. 645. 645. What? Why is that one a problem?
Mono, I send a picture of my novels. EWW
Let me just get this
John,
damn thing
where?
working before I do other things.
Show me. Happy crying face.
Why is 645 a problem? It's got nothing to do with anything. This one works. Why is it saying it's got an error there? 645 is 645 shaded. This is this. Why is this a problem? This is not the function being run. This is a function that worked perfectly fine. Why is it now not working perfectly fine? What is your problem?
Mono, Facebook Messenger.
Oh, is it because I said that? That one requires to be this, but the other one does not because it's being converted. So it's probably not fixed, I just made a new error. Didn't fix an error. Yeah, 841 again. No matching overload function. What does that mean? 841. It's down there. What does it mean? Everything exists exactly as it should. Why does it not exist exactly as it should, as always. The only time I've ever known that error to pop up is when I'm inputting something in the wrong way. That's a vec2, that's a vec2. Blah blah blah, everything's perfect, why is it not perfect? Rel, what is rel? Is rel just rel? It should be this rel, shouldn't it? How did that happen? Is that it? Okay. Whatever. So now I need 2 ones I can replace. Nah. Oh, you say? What did you show? Why isn't my start bar going away? Why is it just permanently up now?
Mono, if you wonder why one message was deleted, it was because the picture was upside down.
Okay. I really wish No Game No Life got a season 2. That was so good. They got that movie though. Oh yeah, that movie was really good, now that I remember. Are these books or movies? I've been killing slimes 300 years and have maxed out my level. I haven't seen that one. Whatever.
Mono, books.
Wait, is that reborn into a vending machine? That's actually a thing? Okay. Oh, they just get weirder and weirder.
TWW Jine, haven't watched the movie of No Game No Life D.
Oh, it's so good. Real good. If you're watching it online or whatever, I recommend getting it in a higher quality, like downloading it in a higher quality if you're watching on free places. It's well worth the wait to download in a higher quality. It was really good. That's about all I remember about it now. It was really good. And you don't have to know anything about the actual series itself. It's, other than like the first 2 minutes or something at the beginning, it's completely irrelevant.
Mono, Eugene wanted to see them. EWW Jine, it's not much of a wait.
Yeah, I know. Modern day stuff. There you go. That's bitches. Yeah. I wonder if new Slime's gonna be coming out. Do they?
EWW Jine, I have good down speed.
Yeah. So I got reincarnated as Slime, or just Slime as I call it, because it's too long a name. That was really good. And it kept pretty consistently good too, which was nice. Like, what was it?
Mono, yes, a season 2 was announced.
Yeah, from Commonplace to World's Strongest, or whatever the name of that is in other languages. I think I'm skipping chunks of it as well in the name. But that one started off really good. I really liked the first, like, 1.5 episodes, I guess. And then it just went downhill.
EWW Jine, try, yeah, I am a spider, so what? Mono, if read that one too.
I don't read any, so I'll just wait for it to come out if it eventually comes out as a movie.
EWW Jine, it's good up to a point XD.
Yeah. It's, yeah, basically, like, without spoiling anything, it had so much potential to look really cool. Like, there was another one that came out that had the same sort of stuff. But it's, I like it when it's in another world sort of thing. They completely skip the people actually arriving in the other world or anything like that. It's just straight up, oh yeah, there's these people that is doing these things and blah blah blah. By the way, they're from another world.
Of it.
Of what?
Mono, if read everything you guys mentioned. Eugene, it has CGI something.
Oh yeah, the from Commonplace one. Everybody was complaining about the CGI thing. I didn't really care that much about that though. Generally, everything nowadays got terrible CGI in it, so it doesn't seem that bad compared to other things. I mean, there's no Berserker. But Yeah, it like episode 4 was a flashback, I think it was, or episode 5 was a flashback of the previous 4
Mono,
episodes.
hi.
It's like, what are you doing? And then they had like it just evolved into like fan service
Eugene,
stuff.
I mean, terrible CGI.
Yeah, pretty much every 3D thing, every anime has terrible CGI nowadays, and it's, you know, just literally everything's terrible CGI. That's just standard. But there were so many people in the comments complaining about it. I'm like, this is not unusual though. It's saying like as if this thing, like, this is sort of like subpar CG. This is just normal. But what was it saying? Yeah, they had like random fan service moments. Like there was this one part where they're in like a dungeon thing, and a new area was going to be
Mono,
awesome. I was
Spider
hoping it was going to be
flipping
like
amazing. I'm thinking of ordering the first 6 parts. Eugene, Claymore, anyone?
I remember Claymore, and I remember everybody ranting about it long after I'd
Mono,
seen it,
yes,
but I don't
me.
remember it being that good. Like it was just another thing. Maybe I should rewatch it. It's been probably enough years now. I've forgotten everything.
Eugene, Grady Man,
D Grey Man.
D
Yeah.
Gray Man asterisk.
Oh, I was watching that one dubbed,
Mono, also me.
and it took so like they had it dubbed all the way up to the point where he was going to be traveling across a river or something like that on a boat. I can't remember how many episodes. It was probably like 40 episodes into it, and then they stopped it, and that was that for the longest time. And then like just as I finally gave up and just decided, because it'd been years and nothing new had come out, and I was just going to watch the whole thing subbed, and I started doing that, and then they started dubbing it again. I was like, what? So luckily I hadn't gone that far before it started getting dubbed again, so I had to watch the whole thing again. I was only a few episodes in because I was delaying. I really couldn't be bothered rewatching all the stuff I'd seen before, but sort of had to because it'd been so long I didn't remember anything or where I was up to. But yeah, the fan servicey stuff in From Commonplace to What's Stronger. So they're in this other dungeon thing, and the first dungeon and the first thing was so great. And in the second dungeon, and it's just a comedy skit thing, like the Scooby-Doo sort of style looking thing. Like, not quite as bad as that. But like, they had this one point
Mono,
where there's
by the
this...
way, every no game, no live light novel has a NSFW image in the front.
Wow. But, it's the real reason you get it. Like, they're in this dungeon thing, and they got this bunny girl, you know, with huge boobs, as they always do. And, clearly they're just for this fan service thing. Like, she just contributes nothing to anything. And like, they had this one scene where I think she hits a hole in the wall, or there's a hole in the wall or something, so she puts her head through the hole in the wall, and then she just gets a whole lot of white stuff sprayed on her face. And she's like, you know, making all of the sounds
Mono,
and stuff
my
like
uncle
that.
was surprised when he saw it.
And and then like the next scene, it's just completely as if nothing ever happened. It was just like, wait, what was that about? Like, there's no backstory to it or anything. Like, there's no information, like what was behind the wall, like what was the white stuff, you know, anything. It was just simply she puts her head through a hole and white stuff in her face, and she makes noises, and that was that scene. Like, what? Like, at least have some sort of thing. Like, was there something there? Was it a trap? Was that acid or something or other? Like, you know, what was the purpose of this? It's just literally a fanfiction thing, a fan service thing. Like, why? It was such a serious, dark thing, and then it just evolves into that. It's like, what? And the dragon. When they defeat the dragon, the way he defeats the dragon, it's just like, what? It's just terrible. Absolute garbage. And it had such a strong start. There was another one that was a lot better though. It had the same sort of starting thing, the same thing I liked about it. I don't remember what it was called though. But it was the same sort of a thing, reborn in another world, and when he turned a certain age, I think he regained his memories of the past. Am I confusing things? No, there was two different things. But basically the way that he explored the world, and the magic and stuff like that, like the evolution of things, like that's what I liked. Like, because usually it's just sort of, oh, there's this world, you can do a certain thing, there we go, we're doing that thing. But this one, he was experimenting. He was actually doing like science to the whole thing. Like he found out he had like a pocket dimension thing, and he was just experimenting around with the pocket dimensions. Like, what happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? Like, if I have a thing that's warm.
Have anyone read Release That Witch? Lane, don't even try Webtoon or whatever.
Nope. Like he had a rock or something that he heated up, and then he put it into the pocket dimension and waited a while, and then took it out to see if it had a temperature difference. Like, what happens to the things in the pocket dimension? Like, what happens if you had something that was on fire?
I read almost every light novel where of anime is announced from. I start reading them long before the anime airs. Yeah, I know what is worth watching.
Well, I just watch everything anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, so he had like something that was on fire. He puts it in and takes it out, and it's not on fire anymore. He's like, oh, that's interesting, you know. So like the rock, he put it in and he took it out, and the rock didn't change temperature, but there was other things that would change when he put it in the pocket dimension storage thing.
Read the thing you're talking about now.
What? If read the thing you're talking about now, what does that mean? I don't know, but I like that sort of stuff. So he was figuring out all that sort of stuff, like he could pick things up at a distance and put it into the pocket dimension and stuff like that. So he was experimenting around with what the range was and things, you know. What happened, like how far is too far and stuff like that. He was doing that with a whole lot of stuff, and that was really cool. So it was like figuring out like chemistry things.
Me or he. XD. He.
Yeah. Anyway, that was really awesome. That had like so much potential. That was really great. And then it, you know, season 1, that was that. Never came back. But I like that sort of stuff, like the discovery, like progression and things. But most of them are just too generic, especially nowadays. It's just like, it just has a formula, it follows the formula, job done. It doesn't deviate from the formula, it's, in a way. I mean, obviously, mostly everything's different, but whatever. But that's what it feels like watching it, even though everything seemingly is unique and stuff like that. But, like, yeah, you know, if you read the manga, it actually goes into deeper detail, and it's much more awesome and stuff, but I just can't be bothered. I'd rather just wait. I'd rather watch things than read things. I'd rather dubbed than subbed. If you don't watch the subbed and also the dubbed, then you don't notice the difference between the dubbing. Unless no. I think I had one series that I watched dubbed, and there was very clear problems with it being translated. More so than was average for the time. And there was one I watched subbed and dubbed, which completely changed the context of so many things. And I was already biased to it because I knew what they were talking about, so I'm not sure, like, it probably would have been really confusing if I had only watched it dubbed.
EWW Giant, lowest ranked dungeon lord. Don't remember the name of it. Mono, if you like seeing progress, you should read Solo Leveling. It's really good and this will surprise you, but the vending machine light novel is great and well structured.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be reading anything, so don't worry about that. What am I doing? That's 3. Looking for things I can convert. Whatever, I'll just do the 3 one. But yeah, that's that. Most things nowadays are getting on that generic side.
Mono, Eugene, to you, I think I know what you mean.
They're becoming worse and worse. Like, they start off with great potential, but then they just evolve.
Remove the do.
But I'm not sure if they were originally like that, or if they've always been like that. Like, the mangas or whatever were probably like that as well. I don't know. But it doesn't feel like... Because I like anime, because the older stuff more so.
And the U. EWW Giant, XD.
Like, the reason I like it is because it's like going into the mind of a single person. This is what he sees this world should be.
Yeah, it's a bit gory.
And it's untainted by like outside influences and stuff. It's just made for that by that one guy to be what he wants it to be, what that one person would like. Like, that's what I like about anime and stuff. And it's like real hit or miss sort of things. Like, It could be the best, most amazing thing ever that you just wouldn't find anywhere else, or it could be absolutely terrible because, you know, it's just not your style of thing.
Giant and psychopathic, no?
Yeah. So, I'm assuming you guys are just talking to each other. I got no clue what you guys are talking about. But, yeah, that's what I like, but the more modern animes nowadays, they're not like that anymore. They're following the formula, they're becoming Hollywood, like Hollywood style. It's designed to be what it is, and that's what it's going to be. It's designed to hit the highest target audience. So they're making it more generic, more of what people like. Less uniqueness to it, less branching. And I don't like that. But everything nowadays is becoming that. It starts off all unique and stuff, just to get people hooked, and then it becomes more generic, so it gets more people.
Mono, yes, no, indeed.
Okay. Anyway. That's that. But you never know when the next big thing is going to come out. But I like the whole going to other world stuff well before it became popular. Like the original Hack // series. Hack. // I don't know. I think it was called .hack or something.
Giant add something that if added would not read the message at all, or opposite, if added only then it would read it. Well, that for later.
Yeah, I have absolutely no
That's
clue what you guys are talking about. You're just saying random words to me. Anyway. Back 3, 2s to 3s. You never know when another good anime is gonna come by. Everything seems boring and generic, and then like, blam, something really amazing. But also, the more boring, generic stuff there is, the more better other things look.
EWW Giant talking about text to voice.
What about it? Are you literally just saying random words for it?
Mono, why do you use that emote new moon face?
What emote? What? No time is like a half an hour. Ugh, I'm so tired and out of it. I can't believe 3 hours have almost gone past right now. I haven't done a damn thing. You know, I went through that amount of code. You know? It's like nothing. All I'm doing is looking at it, I'm not even doing anything fancy. There's a thing right there that didn't get something done to it. What is this? Dealer. Okay. Wait. Where was I just now? Ah. What? I did a 3 once up there.
Eugene, as sometimes there would be conversations between viewers, and those being read out would just confuse you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they all get read out. What are you talking about? Again, it feels like you've just started midway through saying something, and you just skip to the end. Okay.
EWW Giant, Svata exclusion.
Exclusion for what?
An asterisk. Mono, Eugene, you should read Glutton, Berserker, and King of the Battlefield.
Oh, you could literally spend all day suggesting to people what they should watch or read.
EWW Giant, what if written it would not read the message?
What if written? What? You mean some sort of a message that you can say that will stop the text-to-speech reading it out? I mean, I could do that. It's pretty easy. But it would just be annoying because I'd keep hearing bloops and be like, hey, I didn't read anything, what went wrong? Well, something would go wrong, and I assume it was just that.
EWW Giant, that if asterisk. Yes.
we're doing? That. 1, 2. This. This is that. And that can go away. Sets all that stuff minimized somewhat. I mean, I don't really care. Let's just get rid of that. That's a heck of a lot of information though. There are many references for how to get that sort of information, so I don't really care. That was just for debuggy things, which is all working
will it read
fine.
this out loud?
Nope. Guess not. Okay. Well, that thing's all been fixed now. So the skybox is technically working. Base colors, not a thing I care about anymore. Okay, let's clear up a couple hundred lines probably. Yep. Oh, that's transparency thingy. Terrible way of doing it though. But it is still a way of doing that.
EWW Giant Park, haven't read those.
Haven't read what? Half an hour to go. Has it really been that long? I don't know. Ah, damn it, I'm so out of it. I really don't want to be spending 40 bucks to wander around a place just to say hi to a random guy once and then disappear. But you never know. It's, you know, out of a rule that I have never actually needed to really follow. Somebody offers to do something in real life, I have to take them up on the offer, you know. It's just a thing. Wait, what stuff here actually is
I always
required?
draw and write on my hand when bored, and I should really stop it because of the amount I draw and write and what I draw and write.
And what do you draw and write? I remember when I was little at school and stuff like that, like primary school and things, I always used to draw the veins on my arm with a pen. So like, I'd look at my arm and draw any veins that I could see. Oh, so much fun. Because like, it's really hard to see them sometimes, there's little ones and stuff like that, you know. Just draw the main ones and stuff, and I'd go all the way up to like almost my shoulder basically, every single vein that I could see. And then like I'd go back and do more and more details and littler ones and littler ones. Anyway, so what do I actually need for this thing to actually do its thing? Because we're not worrying about any of this color info, we're not worrying about any of that junk at all, right? Well, I already deleted all that, didn't I? Wait, what is this? Okay. I don't care about that. Apparently don't care about this. I'm just butchering the code now. It's that if it's a single time or if it's multiple times, and either way, we don't care. All we care about is
EWW Giant K.
So what is required for
Off
Below?
to sleep.
Alright,
I think XD.
well, thanks for dropping by. So Below is just
Mono.
Below.
I write as many hentai tags as I know entire song texts and draw higos, washing machines, oos and yuus.
Wow.
Eugene, Yao active on FB.
Yeah. There's a thing to my Facebook through my website. That is... Okay. That is weird things to be writing on yourself. Like, you must be like that weird kid, basically. Oh my god. Whatever makes you happy. What am I doing? I was the things that were required to go to the
Mono,
next stuff.
I once wrote exactly 127 hentai tags on my arm. Eugene, that is response time.
Did you?
When you are online, D.
I'm always online basically if I'm awake. Did you do that by memory? Like, were they spelled correctly? Oh, like were you looking at them at the time? Like, it's like you're writing down like cheats for a assignment of some sort, like cheats for a test. but it's types.
BWW.K.
It's a weird thing to be writing. But hey, I suppose if you took a picture of it and sent it on whatever sites, it'd probably be pretty popular.
XD.
Um,
Mono, yes by memory and spelled correctly.
damn. So yeah, if I was doing it this way, I could do it by doing the passes as I am now. I just don't get certain information, which is rather annoying. And only
I know a
certain
couple hundred of
accuracies.
them out of my head.
That's some dedication. Must spend a lot of time looking at those tags. Let's leave that there, whatever. So Enrote. Enrote is from Enrote A. Enrote A is from this thing is from Enloke and whatever, and that's all this junk, isn't it? How much of this junk? Well, I guess that stuff. It's gotta stay. B-Loke and Rayloke. Okay, and RN. And anything else here? Like, it feels like this isn't... Oh, Enrote. Enrote and Enrote A. Okay, so that's all necessary. What is this based on? So N is normal. B-Loke is required. Oh, it's already everything it needs to be. Exactly as needed. Okay, well, all this junk can go away, I suppose. And colors can probably go away too. No? Okay. Although you don't actually need the color in the slightest, so technically all of that can be gotten rid of. This is bumped back here. I guess you can just stay there then. No. Well, this one goes forwards.
Mono, I also wrote the lyrics of Space Jam Country Roads Toto Africa, Never Gonna Give You Up, Moscow Brain Power and Resurrection by Rection. EWW Giant. There are certain tips I could give ya in an activity that follows hentai.
Whoa. I was gonna say, like, you could be using this free time that you got to be doing so many productive things, but then I remember you basically don't sleep, so, you know, you got the free time left over to also not be doing productive things. But yeah, imagine if you took all that time to do programming or something, rather than writing down the lyrics to Space Jam and hentai tags. Okay, that's so much done. Boop, boop, boop. I suppose I do sort of need this, actually. I need to know when that happens so I can break. Sure.
Mono, I'm in school when I do that after I'm done with my work.
Oh, okay. That's a valid excuse. Interesting choice of free time, but you know, not as if you can do much else in that time. Can't you have laptops at school? Do you have a lap? Yeah, you had a laptop. You can have laptops at school, just be on your laptop. That's what I used to do, is model stuff in 3D and Blender and things like that. That's what I would do all day at school. Before then, I'd build paper airplanes. So many paper airplanes. What in the world is that? Oh, okay. There's a fluffy thing on the wall behind my mirror. I'm like, well, that's probably not a good thing, living in Australia at all. I made so many paper airplanes. I was making paper darts. I was trying to make paper airplanes that looked like things. I made like a water carrier. We did an origami class one time, and we learned how to make like a paper water bomb. And then I made a paper airplane that could carry a paper water bomb, and they were both built in. Like, it was just using one sheet of paper, and that one sheet of paper was both the water bomb and the airplane. And it actually flew. Within reason. It was more like you're just throwing a ball and it just, you know, kept upright. Didn't really glide or anything. You know, it didn't fall apart. Oh yeah, and multi-layered airplanes? Like an airplane that would fly a certain distance sort of thing, and then drop off, and there'd be a second airplane that would fly, and then drop off, and a third airplane that would fly, and a fourth airplane, and a fifth airplane. I don't think I ever got the sixth one to quite work. It just became too chunky at that point. And it doesn't sound as spectacular in real life. It's more like you just throw a handful of airplanes and they just, you know, they're going so quick, they just all peel off one after another. It's like they all just sort of drop down at the same time. But, you know, each one goes a little further than the last one.
EWW Giant 1. Put pressure with your heel to a point at your taint area so that it would block the outpour XD.
What?
Mono, I can take my laptop with me on school because I have dyslexia, but my school doesn't like people using technology for non-school stuff. A teacher once got mad at me for programming on my calculator after I was done with all I had to do.
I mean, was he mad at you for programming? Or was he mad at you for drawing probably an NTSF, not a not safe for work image on the calculator? I mean, I don't imagine a teacher would get angry for you literally learning real-world skills that are actually quite useful, programming, and you can get into a big career with. Unless it was like in class and you're distracting people or something like that. I don't know. That sounds like a terrible school otherwise. Probably a public school. Anyway, what am I doing? Oh, that's all of it, okay. I haven't tested it, have I? Let's see if something magically fixed itself.
Mono, he was mad because of programming because it wasn't part of the thing he teaches.
Oh, so he was just like just an angry teacher, just a terrible teacher, really. Didn't like technology in that sort of way or something. I mean, if you were done with your class, I don't see why there would be a problem. You know, teachers aren't about logic, generally. Nothing's any different. Supposedly it probably runs a little faster now. Runs like trash because of that log.
KK, now RLY off CYA.
Kept correcting your spelling and now you're typing things like that. Get out of here. Around. Look at that, everything's floating. I didn't even realize that one. I'm too distracted by the textures being wrong. Wow, how did I not notice that one? Guess I just wasn't paying close enough attention. Whatever. Okay. So somehow, all I could imagine is the information that's going through here has been altered in some sort of a way. It could be altered before it goes through here, after it goes through here.
None of my teachers like technology, so I sketch a lot in my books after I'm done. Also NSFW stuff, but they don't care about that.
They don't care, or they're never caught. Yeah. Let's just immediately break. No transparency, only the first direct raise. Still distorts. Okay. So it's not that it's looping too many times or something. Well, I guess it could still be looping too many times. No, it shouldn't be looping too many times. It's just the first time. That's it. Okay. Also, that should have just been breaking anyway. Is there any particular reason this would be? No. So I'm breaking that. Which, that's already finished. So we're just going down to the next sample. I should have my samples whatever by default. Never mess with the samples. Well, more samples doesn't seem to change anything.
Mono, they don't care. I once even got complimented for drawing a THICC anime girl in barely a bikini.
Well, I guess art is art. I mean, well, it was in something, though. It wasn't just, like, completely, like, absolutely not wearing anything sort of thing, you know, tentacles everywhere, and as, you know, generic stuff you'd probably draw as. Anybody who draws that sort of stuff would draw. That would be a different story, probably. So that doesn't fix anything. What else have I got here? And we just create the things. Everything is a thing, everything's changing, everything is being assigned. There's no problems, and yet there is a problem. I could render it directly from here, it works perfectly fine.
Mono, I also draw that sometimes, and in the bikini there even was a nip slip.
Wow. Got dangerous there. Do you upload any of this stuff online? Like, do you have a account somewhere? I mean, if you're drawing this stuff, you may as well get the following behind it. Because if it's any good, you know, you might even be able to make a Patreon. I'm always trying to convince a friend to do that. He's like a really good 3D character modeler. He works in like game companies and stuff like that, usually just freelance things. Which is funny because his name's Lance, and he does freelance. And yeah, I keep telling him to sell out, start making things, you know, not safe for work stuff, putting it on a Patreon, making the safe for work things, and be like, hey, like, check out my Patreon for like the version of this with ever so slightly less clothing. He doesn't want it though. Like, obviously under a different name things. A lot of money to be made in that stuff, apparently. I got nothing here, damn it. The only thing I can think of is somewhere between working out what I want and dumping it all back out again, it's changed. I mean, that's that. Rel is Rel, A is A. These things would not be changed. Final face would be changed, but we're not. I guess we are using that. I guess that's the only questionable thing here. I don't care about distance orientation. But yeah, final face, which should just be this thing.
Mono, no I don't. I personally think I suck at it. It's only when I get good nude for my own standards I'll upload it.
Yeah, throw it back 1 second.
Mono,
Mark.
I also own a drawing tablet.
Yeah, I got a drawing tablet. Could never do anything with it though. Spent half a year drawing circles and lines and junk trying to figure out what, get better at it, get used to it and things. Never did. It's fractionally better than when I very first started. So I suck at art. I could practice art for weeks, months, years on end, and I'll only become ever so slightly better. So I say I got like no talent for it. Like a year's worth of practicing would only be like a week to anybody else. If I had a drawing tablet that actually had a screen on it, I think I could learn a lot better, a lot faster, but those things are real expensive. Well, it's I got nothing. Wait, is it cloudy outside? I think it's a blue sky. I can't tell. It's like that blue that might
Mono,
not be blue.
in some parts I'm better on paper and some better on PC.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm terrible on paper because I'd be much better on PC because you can just do things in a different way. I was trying to come up with different styles of drawing. Like, I'm more realistic sort of stuff is what I want to do. Like photoreal looking things. Like mathematically correct stuff. Not just random scribblings to look nice. You know. I did a few things. I was trying to work out the layers. I was trying to do it the same way it would be done in 3D in a way. So, you know, in 3D you have... Oh yeah, I got a message on my phone. What was it? Is that a message or just a match? Yeah, so like in 3D you have different layers of stuff. Like you have, like the same way you would do your outline and then you would fill it in with color and stuff and do lighting and things. But with 3D stuff, you'd basically have a diffuse, so you would have like the outline thing and then you fill that in with just color, solid color. There's no gradients or anything like that, I mean, unless you had a gradient in your color, but generally there's no gradients. And then you would do another layer on top of that, which might be like the shadows. So you would literally just with black and white, or
Mono,
just black,
right,
I guess.
I haven't said this yet, but I fell asleep again when watching your stream yesterday.
Yeah, just with like a black or a white color or something like that, you would draw in where shadows would be. The darker the black or white color is, or the more exaggerated or whatever, the more darker it would be. The lighter it is, the lighter it would be. Or less darker, or whatever, I don't know. And then you would mix that with your color layer, and that would just immediately have shadows with the colors mixed how shadows would, or lighting would mix, like, correctly. And then you would do another layer with highlights, you would do another layer with, like, indirect lighting, and reflections, and specular, and, all that sort of junk. And every single one of them would just be their own individual thing on their own layer, just being mixed together with the correct mixing things. So at any time you could completely change the color of the lighting. You just change the highlighting part and the shadowy part, and job done. It would all look entirely correct. You don't have to redraw the color with the gradients for how the lighting would be. That's the way I would be doing it. I figured out like a whole workflow and how to correctly mix all this stuff and all that sort of junk. But I couldn't make it even look nice in the slightest. It was just technical stuff, you know, practicing the technical side, not the actual drawing side. I don't know. My main problem is I just can't think of what to draw. And if I can't visualize what I want to make, then I can't draw what I can't visualize. I'm just, you know, drawing random lines, you know, till it looks good, which is exactly what I suck at doing. New eyes when my project's going to die. Anyway, what was it on? I was looking for where a thing might happen. So, well, A and rel. Is A redefined somewhere? Does something mess with A? Well, supposedly not, because it's all been dumped through here now and nothing's in and out. So A should be the same A since the very beginning. Rel should be the same rel. What's going on? Nothing should be ever saying it equals to this, only this equals things. It's 9 now. Well, 5 minutes. Well, I sort of did a thing, even though that wasn't supposed to take 3 hours. That was supposed to take maybe a quarter of an hour. Half an hour at most. All that rant going on. Well, I'm lost. Alright, so I guess everything seems absolutely 100% perfectly fine, not even the slightest bit of a problem anywhere. And yet it doesn't work. I guess I'm just going to ignore the problem. Unless magically it decided to fix itself just now.
Mono, I'm gonna go extremely early for my standards today now because I want to be at least half awake tomorrow.
I'm gonna go now as well. I'm gonna get ready for this thing and buy my tickets. Head over there, it's starting to get hot now. Oh, no, I broke it even further. What have I done? What did I change? Oh, because that's the index one. Oh, that's interesting. Hang on, where does that come from? Oh, I created a new thing for it, never mind. Yeah, so I am using I, not Face ID. Because I is smaller. Yeah, whatever. And this stuff can't be wrong. I suppose that one possibly could be, but the other stuff can't be because otherwise this information would be wrong, which it isn't. So every conceivable test I can do to figure out what is wrong and what is right all say the same thing. The only other test that I could do is to get exactly what it is inside of this loop and then get what it is outside the loop. Where literally you would just be getting it before then and just after this, really. Because this variable is the same variable that should be checking out the other side. Which isn't going to show absolutely anything in the slightest that could be potentially useful, so I guess I just ignore the problem and hope that just one day I start doing things and it's not there anymore. Other than that, I got nothing. Oh, there's one other thing I could do. I can just copy paste this stuff over. Never know, that might fix something. You know, if that was at all slightly possible. Right, this is literally the thing that has the problem. 0, 1, 2, A, rel. And this is 2, not a float. So that shouldn't have broken anything. Potentially fix something. That shouldn't have broken anything. Same thing there, and the same thing here. Did I remove the extra 2 there? Yeah. That goes away. That goes away. Broke good. Oh yeah. This is a 3. That's a 3. Nope, nothing's any different. Glitchiness is still glitchiness, but everything else is fine. I mean, I don't suppose that's literally because of inaccuracies. Is it? Whatever, I'll try that too. Gonna be late, but I don't care. It's on like the entire day, right? Why is it so slow? Oh, I want. Oh, there we are. What? Well, it's not starting at 1, it said it was starting at 10. What the world is the starting times for this damn thing? Can I see it somewhere else? I mean, it's not. Whatever. It's at least till 6. So I got all day. Let's try this one other thing, because supposedly I have a couple more numbers to work with, especially if I get rid of that junk. Yeah, the rotation stuff. Whatever, let's just give it a try. So you are 7, 3 plus 5, I guess. 5 and 5. That should be fine. And we don't care about the rotation. And change that over here. What does that do? I really hope it doesn't fix it. I mean, I sort of do, but I don't. Because if it makes it even slightly better, then that means I have even less numbers to work with, and I need that rotation, at the very least. I need at least 3 places, damn it. 2 just isn't enough. Is it worse now? No, I don't think that's any different at all. I mean, possibly? Yeah, it's Barrows standing. I remember it being different over there, though. Oh wait, no, that's exactly what I remember it being there. No, so this is absolutely no different at all. Alright. Whatever. I'm gonna go now. All back to the way it was. I guess I'll just continue doing stuff later. Not the problem.